As according to that, we are live here just for domestic. How's everybody doing out there today? I'm not seeing a ton of stuff out there, but I'm going to go ahead and start it off in the usual fashion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you for that. Been seeing Gunpowder Beauty out there. He saw. I don't have the YouTube side up, so it doesn't really bother me all that much. Welcome, my illustrious panel. Of course, there is the sexy battle bean himself, Mario Moslin. How's it going, Mario?
Oh, it's going. Hey, what's everybody doing, man? Everybody's doing well. We are definitely going through some crazy times right now, guys. We're trying to stay positive. Actually, I got to go to a sit-down restaurant today, which is kind of weird because I ain't done that in a while. And yeah, man, just happy to be here and happy to get some dialogue going and see what everybody's up to. So that's all I got. Thank you very much.
Very good, very good. We also have the staple, JH586. How's your world treating you, sir?
Better than I deserve, brother. Glad to see y'all. Glad to be here. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for the link. Good to see Rob. Good to see Mario. Always good to see you, brother. And welcome to the side chat. Come on in.
All right. And the lean trim fighting machine, Mr. Rob Turbo.
Yeah, the turbo thing is on Practice Score where you sign up for matches. You can put in like a stage name and stuff like that. You don't have to use your real name as long as you use your member number. So a lot of times I sign up as Rob Turbo. And when I do that, it usually gives people a chuckle. But that nickname came from when I tried to turbocharge a really slow car when I was younger. And so I got that nickname. It was kind of a funny thing I tried to do, but it was pretty cool too.
Don't tell me it was a Pinto.
That wasn't a Pinto. It was a Chevette.
A Chevette.
This is bad, man. What the hell?
It might as well have been a Pinto.
I mean, I haven't always rolled heavy, you know what I'm saying? There was a day where I had to, kind of scrape it together. So
you was on budget. It's all good, man. I hear you. Hey, I remember having to put Krylon on my car. You ain't got to tell me nothing, bro. I got you.
Yep, absolutely. Those were the days. Peanut butter and ramen noodles, man.
Well, I tell you, Rob, the shape that you're in these days is just absolutely flipping incredible. The metamorphosis that you've done with your body is stellar. I know you have to
appreciate it.
Keep on it.
Thank you.
But man,
I enjoy it. I get to where, my mornings are all about the workout and my little time to, enjoy my time, and it's just a lifestyle now. So the whole idea is to get the results on the range against the young guys that can move way better than me. They already got me beat on the young guys, so I got to keep up with them on speed. And that's honestly, man, that's the only way you're going to do it is to be a little more fit, But it's fun. It's a fun process to go through, and I have enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying the next level thing. I'm working with my trainer to put on some muscle and kind of build this a little bit different physique and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, it's been a complete change, and it's inspirational, people. And there's been a number of times where you've been inspirational for people.
Well, that's good to know. I mean,
I want to say something. You need to quit losing weight because every pound you lose, I'm finding. So I got to turn that around and get back going the other way. But you look great, man. Hats off to you, man. And I got to start heading that way myself.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if he plays that "She's a maniac, maniac" when she starts looking out and shit, you know?
No, I think it's more YMCA.
No, it's crazy stuff. If you want to hear what I listen to, type into Pandora motivational diverse music, and you will literally hear everything from like spiritual music to like all kinds of crazy stuff. It's so diverse, but every song is motivational in a different way. And I listen to that the whole time I'm, on the way to the gym or I'm at the gym. It's pretty interesting, the stuff you'll come across on the channel.
Let me ask you this. How's that affected you? Like, has it helped you improve like your mood or the way you feel, or being able to work out more?
Yeah, I mean, well, working out really hard increases your testosterone, and for men, that's a key to a lot of.
So you don't need any kicks anymore. Is that what you're saying?
I don't need any. I need nothing.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's I think men's DNA are meant to breathe heavy, work hard, move heavy stuff, get tired, recover. That's like it's in our DNA, and I think we, as men, we owe it to ourselves to sort of satisfy that part of our makeup, and it's very, very, very satisfying. It feels great. You're positive all the time. You're smiling all the time. Shit's just really good when you're doing those kinds of things. I think we were built to do that. Just go out and kill animals and eat.
The reason why I asked you this question, is I noticed that before I was watching some old Ammo Mafia videos, and I could tell that you were a bit more defense. I don't know what the right word is, but he just seemed to me like you were more intense.
Spherical?
I don't know.
Is the question.
Whatever you want to call it, but you would see him, and then the way he expressed himself on camera, it just seems to me like he was more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And now it just seems like he's happy-go-lucky, Rob Turbo. And it's just that's the reason why I asked that question.
It's just it improves so much. And it's funny because it's difficult sometimes to talk about and to describe to people. And so you kind of feel bad in a way. You almost feel guilty explaining it because you don't want people to feel guilty about not doing something that makes their selves more fit. You know what I mean? It's a tough subject. It really is. So I don't know when to do a video or not. It's really weird.
Right. So since you kind of brought this whole thing up, I just want to ask you one more question, and that is in regards to your diet. Did you have to change anything, or did you just eat more to moderation is what you do?
When I was actually going through the weight loss phase, which I'm not in anymore, there's a very, very simple approach, and that's change most everything to a lot of higher protein and count your calories and weigh your food and just roll in a 500 calorie deficit every day, do your cardio, and the weight will just drop off. Literally, it just drops off. It's just a simple math equation. That's the thing.
Because the older we get, men, we have a tendency of having like little to no metabolism left in our system. So that's why I was kind of like, is it metabolism? Yeah.
No, it's not. You're in control of that metabolism. The more you lift, the more muscle you put on, the more testosterone you can build in your body. Your metabolism will come right back. I mean, I have to work every day to eat enough to satisfy myself now because my body needs calories now. Whereas before, the calories were just keeping me fat.
That's cool. Good to know.
Yeah, I'm not one that normally enjoys pictures of people's food. But for some oddball reason, you post stuff up, and I'm all of a sudden I'm like, man, that looks good. It's apple chicken salads, and I'm like, just like, oh, I don't know what it is, and it's all, you see how that's all correlating together.
You know, I think another thing that I know I heard from a lot of friends of mine that do this stuff for a living. It's all about willpower, man. It really is. You have to put a lot of that, and you have to kind of like, be a little more disciplined with that stuff. Because
you need a reason. You need a reason to do it. You can't just say I want to do it because of what other people think of me. You can't say I want to do it because of what society thinks. You have to have a reason. You have to have the reason. There's only one reason usually for most people to get motivated to actually get fit. And whatever that reason is, if it's important enough, that's all you need. And then the rest will take care of itself.
Well, the hard part for a lot of people, including myself, is when you bust your hump 10, 12 hours a day. I put 7, 8, 9 miles on my feet in steel toe boots. I sweat like a banshee. I'm constantly lifting, bending, stooping, climbing. And so by the end of the day, I'm beat to shit. I am not ready to go to a gym. It feels like I've been at the gym all day. How do you get over? I know you're a business owner and you bust your fucking ass. How do you get over that hump?
I don't know. I think if you have that active of a job, I'll be honest, I don't think you really need to be working out. If it really is that active. Back when I was overweight at one time, and then one summer I wasn't even trying to lose weight. I got a job framing houses, and I dropped down to so little bit of weight that my family was worried about me and stuff. And it was just from humping all day and not doing anything, and then being so tired, I would go to bed early. And then next thing you know, I'm weighing in at like 160 pounds and everyone's like, damn, are you okay? And so if your job is that active, I think the only thing you have to do is just watch the diet.
Yeah, most definitely. How tall are you, Rob Turbo?
I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, so when you're taller, it's like it's a and you lose that much weight, it looks really, one thing I like about people that are taller is that even if you're like 200 some plus, it doesn't look so bad on you when you're short, it's, like me, it looked like a damn munchkin. It's not that easy, but not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying. No,
I know. I don't know if anybody. I know we've been talking about this for a while now. I don't know if this is y'all's normal subject matter, so I don't want to.
No, it's all good. To be honest with you, we just here to chat, man.
We're just here chatting. We don't have anything completely itinerized. Yeah.
Not only that,
Foreign and Domestic does have a few things that are political or reloading wise. Guns and gears wise. And speaking of gear, Mr. Mosen, I've got a couple of questions for you. For a man that has probably spent months, if not years, in body armor. Do you have body armor at home?
Huh?
Do you keep body armor at home for personal use?
I keep my vest here at home. I keep my actual military vest at home. I mean, I have to because of my rank too. I'm able to do it because most of my other soldiers can't, but because I can, I keep it home. But to answer your question, yes, I do have my own personal plate carrier. I would use it if I needed to. But in most cases, I haven't run into an issue where I needed to use it. But I think in an emergency kind of reasoning, I would tell you to do that. And that one I usually keep next to my bug out bag, you know. But everybody's different as to where they keep them. I always have an extra one because you just never know. And speaking of the current situation we're in, I can see why a lot of people are starting to buy those kinds of things. I bought mine because I just wanted to have my own. For the longest, I didn't like a lot of the plate carriers that the Army had. They gave us some really crappy ones, and and the thing with me is I have no neck, so when you give me a vest and I got this thing and I got no neck and it's a little harder. It's sometimes better to buy yourself your own gear, and that's what I did, But everybody's different. Do I suggest everybody should buy a plate carrier? I think it's more personal preference, and it also has to do with what kind of neighborhood you live in, what kind of stuff that you might think you might run into. Those are all big factors. The one thing I've noticed that a lot of people do, and I really hope that people would just pay a little more attention to this stuff, is buying these Kevlars. They have these little cut up earmuffs like operators, and they think they look all cool, and they think that that's going to save their butt. But in reality, there's a reason why the special forces personnel wear those kind of helmets. It's because of the type of audio system that you want to put in there, or some people just for them it works. It really does. And because it has a side railing where you can attach lights or a camera, they need that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of people have a tendency of just buying it because for the sake of coolness. And most of these are so-called Kevlar. They're not even Kevlar. So pay attention to what you want to buy and make sure that whatever you purchase, it's legit and it's as close as you can get to military grade, or at least something where it's law enforcement grade. So,
Well, the carrier that I've got is falling apart, so I've got to get a new carrier, and I've been looking more and more into it. And with everything that's going on in our country, it's not bad to have. On top of now, they're also talking about creating laws against civilians owning body armor. And so this kind of ties slightly in with what
but
we were
in
talking
reality,
about.
how are you going to enforce that in an emergency? How are you going to enforce that? What's the people that have plate carriers?
I just think they'll keep you from being able to buy it if they pass any kind of a law against it. But if you have it, that's going to be kind of hard to keep you from having it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're talking about having a grandfather clause in it. So yeah, if you already own it, then tough cookies, we can't take that, but we can prevent you from getting something that might save your life. To me, it's absolutely asinine. And on top of that, a lot of the reviews that I've been reading on a ton of different places have been, I bought this to work out in. I bought this to add extra weight to myself while I ran. I bought this for extra weight while I worked out.
Yeah, but those are what we call weighted type of plate carrier vest. Those are not considered tactical vest. You know what I'm saying?
But people are actually buying true plate carriers.
Here's my thing: most plate carriers will last you a long time when you put a lot of wear and tear, because that's what we do in the military. We run from place to place, stuff like that, and I think that's why a lot of people buy them. But my biggest thing is I would probably save myself a lot of money if I would just buy an actual exercise weight vest than buying a tactical one just because you want to look cool, or you think that because it's tactical it's gonna last you. You need to understand that where you place that pocket is where you're gonna place your plates in there. You need to make sure that it has a good restraining system in there, because if it doesn't have it, then you are basically tearing up the shit out of your vest. Because like the vest that we have, the plate carriers, it has a pocket, and underneath there it has another big Velcro on there. So it keeps it in place. So that way, when we start moving around from place to place, it's not tearing up the inner pocket of the vest. Now, to add something to that, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of companies that make a lot of vests, and they love using the name of military grade this and military grade that shit. I'm gonna tell you guys all something. If you guys want a legit, best freaking vest that you can ever buy, you go to Tactical Tailor. And I'm gonna tell you what Tactical Tailor is. Tactical Tailor is a company that is funded by Special Forces operators. They're out of Washington. And they actually, because they never liked a lot of the stuff that the military had for them, they made their own stuff. They were the kind of the innovators of a lot of the things that we currently have in our stuff. So yes, they are expensive, but yes, you're gonna get the top of the line, best freaking material, best everything on a vest. And if that's what you want,
you mentioned Tactical Tailor, and the fact is there is a lot of companies that are trying to mimic what they've done.
but it's also the thing about it is that they don't spend the money on the material and the craftsmanship and the stitching, because a lot of it has to do with stitching, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have a tendency of not being able to produce that, or maybe even have the machines that can actually sew that type of material. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of companies out there making stuff in China, and let's just face it, the Chinese don't give a shit. They're gonna make it to the best of their ability, or make it look like, fake the funk kind of thing, but they're not really building it to quality because they don't care.
So I got a quick question, Mario. Will the military spend the money to get you that Tactical Tailor stuff the best that you can get?
I would say that my current vest does have a lot of the I think it's like a B grade. If you want to, A, B, C, or whatever, I think it's a good B, a good solid B. It's not a Tactical Tailor, because if you stop and think about it, you got to think about how many soldiers are in the army, and then all of a sudden you got to equip all these guys. That's a pretty penny. That's why you have Tactical Tailor, and those are the ones that cater more to like the Ranger battalions, the CJ Sotos or the Green Berets, and then you also got the Delta guys, and then you have the Spooks, and so on and so forth. You even got the guys, some guys that have to go, like the guys in the 160 SOAR. I mean, those are all like the elite guys, and those are the ones that the military has a tendency of spending a little more money, and within good reason, because they're going to do the things that many of us can't do. So they're going to get what they need.
Yeah, I got to train with some of the Task Force Dagger guys when I helped them do a little fundraiser, and I talked to several. I guess they were, Green Beret or Delta Force, whatever. There was a bunch of different guys in that what the event I went to, and a lot of them were talking about they just go out and buy their own gear. Like they want, I guess they get reimbursed, and they prefer what they prefer. They go out and get it, and they use whatever the hell they want to use. I guess, they're allowed to do that. Now, I don't know. Maybe they get discounts. I don't really know how it works, but it seems like that shit could get real expensive, I mean, even down to weapons,
Absolutely. I know that stuff can get really expensive. And the way I understand it is, yeah, they get a certain allotment for uniform stuff, and then whatever they want to do past that is on them. But a lot of the Gucci bags and mag holsters and everything else. Here we go.
There it is.
All right, so this is the vest that we got here, and this is a straight plate carrier, right? And
so that's your issue vest?
This is my issued vest, yeah. So what it has a pocket in here, and this has a really, thick Velcro in here. Of course, I have my plate in there, but this one has a tight fit pocket in there, and underneath here it has another Velcro that keeps the plate in there. All right. Now,
And so it's just the straight plate, no trauma pad.
No, this is, well, let me show you how thick the plate is.
It's a ceramic plate, most likely.
It's a ceramic plate. So I don't need a trauma pad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a 308.
And that's a triple curve plate, right?
Yep. So has a Velcro that goes in here. I don't know if you guys can see it. The Velcro. Another thing that I really like about these vests is that they have they're self-collapsible. So underneath here, I don't know if you guys could see it. It has a little tab, and it has the wire that goes all across the actual vest. So if the medical personnel needed to get to, say you got wounded underneath there, they pull that off and it collapses all, and then they can get to wherever you need to get. Another thing that I really like about it is on the side, it has little pockets where you can put the side plates, you know. And
Do you normally run side plates?
The only time I ever use them is when I was in country, you know, because the thing about it is I was inside of my vehicle, and most of the time they would try to hit us with IEDs. So if you're gonna get hit, most of the time the blast is on your side. And there's times I would have the deltoid, like these like Kevlar type of shoulder pads, whatever the hell it is, just to protect as much as it can. But yeah, you know, this vest is actually pretty decent. It's a whole lot better than what I first went to Iraq the first time. So yeah, I always have my vest with me, and you know, I just keep it because you never know, especially nowadays with all the stuff that's going on. You know, you gotta kind of have that kind of close to you. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys real quick my vest. So
That's awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. You can keep it, right?
no, I don't get to keep it. I actually got to turn that sucker in. But if I want to buy it, I can.
Right. Yeah. I know when you.
I'm probably keeping the vest that I went to Iraq with, the first one. It's the old BDU one. It's like the old green camouflage ones. I'm probably going to keep that one. I'm not going to turn that in until I'm aiming. Just bill me for it. Because that one's got like actual like bullet holes and crap in it. You know, I actually got shot in that thing with a what is it? What's that freaking 7.62 rifle that they use a lot? Not the AK, but the other one. The
Mosin, probably.
Not the Mosin. The
SKS.
Yeah, with the SKS, I got shot.
SKS is 7.62 39.
Yeah. But you know, luckily,
I mean, at that point, isn't it worthless to the military, and it shouldn't cost you a whole lot?
You would think, my friend. Anyway, you were in the military yourself. You should know how they work.
I was in the National Guard, so it's a little different. But I did get a bill when I got discharged for some shit I didn't turn in, and that's fine. I mean, but yeah, there's certain things you just want to hold on to, like boots and all that. I mean, Jesus Christ, if they expect you to turn in boots,
they don't let you turn in the boots anymore. They don't let you turn in your uniforms anymore. But you know, like luckily for me, I have an extra Kevlar, so I'm gonna keep my actual Kevlar that I went 3 times to Iraq with. I'm gonna keep that. You know, I wish I could have kept my M9. I was mad when I had to turn in that in, man. I was mad. I was so upset when they told me I got to turn it in. I told them, man, just bill me for it. Like, no, you got to turn it in. They won't
When
let me.
Reagan was president, they'd send you a bill for your tidy whities, man.
Oh yeah. Indeedo.
Yeah, everything. You sign for everything.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had to put my name on the form for I don't know if it was a Bradley or a M113, but we went to summer training, and they literally, like as the driver, like they literally make you sign for a tank, right?
Yeah, they don't even stop and I wish civilians would know how much stuff we are responsible for. Like, when they do my evaluations, or them as NCOERs, it's funny how a lot of them say, "Oh, responsible for $450 million worth of equipment," but yet civilians don't understand that. They don't get it. It trips me out.
Well, you couldn't turn that sumbitch in unless it was cleaned, properly maintained, ready to turn back in. I mean, we take those things out to the woods for, we would do our 2 weeks training, but it ended up being 3 weeks because we would take our normal weekends and put them on our training so we could elongate it. And once you've been in and we're constantly going, right, whether it be the 113 or the Bradley or whatever, we're moving all the time and putting a lot of wear and tear on those things, and you're breaking parts along the way, and you're having to fix them in the field and all this stuff. And so one summer I went as a Bradley driver. The other summer I went as a Bradley gunner. It was a really, really fun job to be a gunner, and I was with my commanding officer and track commander and everything. And so it was a really fun vehicle to be in, but man, turning those things in and just making sure they're ready in was a whole day's work, just cleaning, maintaining, going through inspections and just getting it ready to turn that sumbitch back in was unreal,
Oh yeah, and it's even a lot worse when you go to the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, because they give you pretty much crap, and they expect you to turn in pristine stuff, and you just been through 400 miles of freaking desert, going through all kinds of stuff, and that's the way it is, man. I'm not gonna miss that part. I'm gonna miss the guys, but I'm not gonna miss all of the.
I wish I'd have kept up with a bunch of the guys a lot better, but this has been at least 25 years now. I've lost track of a lot of those guys. All but one, quite honestly, and he didn't turn out so good. So there's that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of comments, and I got this burn line here. I'm currently making some improvements to my pistol range, which involves using a tractor and moving a bunch of earth. I'm digging out my berm and putting up a retainer wall and a bunch of other things. And so, my color is going to be changing over the next few weeks. So, just kind of expect weird things.
Sunscreen.
So a little bit of news came out that apparently Federal has lost the ammunition contract and for the military, and Winchester is going to be taking it over. I also heard today that Hornady is going to be making the ammunition. Who they're utilizing, couldn't tell you, didn't find that out. But apparently Hornady is going to be making the ammunition for the FBI. How Federal lost the contract was apparently they get scrutinized heavily, and they had inspectors coming in, and for some oddball reason, inspectors weren't digging certain things that they were finding out. And Winchester said, we can do it, and we can do it cheaper. So apparently Federal has lost the ammunition contract for the military, and Winchester's going to be taking it over. How that's going to affect commercial ammunition on the shelf is going to be very speculatory at this point to even discuss. But I'll tell you what, I literally spent all day today. I went to 9 different stores looking for small pistol primers. There's not a single one anywhere near me. And it was frustrating as hell because I'm just like, oh, I know this store's going to have them. What? All they've got's larges? What the hell?
Luckily, at least you have stores you can go to. I only got one that I could go to in town that has primers.
Well, you would have saved an entire day looking for primers if they didn't have any.
Yeah, but they're really cool. I mean, they know me already, so they know when I go in there, I just go and buy reload and stuff. So the guy that works there in the front, he's always been really cool with me. If I tell him, hey man, can you save me a 1,000 primers for a small pistol, whatever, he's usually cool about it. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys also. This is my Kevlar, and it's pretty simple. I don't like the new freaking Kevlars that everybody's got. Like the ones with the cutoff earmuffs and like crap. It's not my thing. I like to keep it simple. I don't even have the stupid band that a lot of people have a tendency to put on, and I like this type of system for my PBS 14s, the night visions. One thing you'll notice, and I can tell you that Pops knows what I'm talking about. This harness system is so much better than the old Kevlars they used to have. You know what I'm saying? And the padding is really cool because it's actually like memory foam. So it actually it molds to your head, and I have a weird fucking head. I think like the doc fucking like pulled my ass to the side or some shit because my shit is like to the side. So,
well, Mario, you've been in long enough to have the liner and the thing on top, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've had those before. I had the old school, Generation 1 Kevlars. I even got to see when they had just replaced those with the old what do they call those? The old helmets that they used to have, the steel helmets.
Yeah, well, well, and then they decided to use the steel helmet, I guess, as what they called a liner, and then they would put the Kevlar thing over top of that, which is where I came into the whole deal. I was like, oh shit, we're good now. We can take a fucking missile to the head now. We're good to go, and
yeah,
well, it was so uncomfortable because
if you recall the helmets before they had like these liners that you're talking about. Well, these have these little holes, so like if you need to put vegetation to make yourself, so it's pretty cool. Oh, and this one I used to have. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a little Velcro with this. This is an IR tape, so if they see you, infrared or whatever, they could see you. Now, one thing that we did is that we ended up putting it's like a 9-volt battery IR blinker. And we used that in Iraq a lot because we had a lot of, we had a lot of helicopters from different branches. Like we had a lot of Marine Corps Cobras and stuff like that. And there's times where we did a lot of joint missions with them. So that was a good way for them to see us and we could see them. And they prevent fratricide. So there was a lot of cool stuff, man. And
technology saved a lot of lives like that.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, bearded CB says cat eyes. Yeah, I'd had the cat eyes on the back. That was a thing, man. That's how you knew not to fucking shoot your buddy in the back, at night. That was pretty much all we had. It was just
that's all we had. And
seeing those.
The new Kevlars don't have the cat eyes, but you can put them in there if you really wanted to. But it's not there anymore.
Hey, I got not to change the subject, but to change the subject. Powder Valley sent out an email saying they have primers now, so check Powder Valley. And Jamie, I want a question for you. What's the primer called where there's 2 flash holes with the anvil in the middle? What's that called?
Birdan.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever run across a 9mm Birdan prime?
Yeah, broke my.
Yeah, I found the first one today. I was blown away. I was like, holy shit.
And if you look at the bottom of it, it's going to be a military case too. And it's probably from Europe.
It's a S&B. Yeah. Crazy. First time. I've loaded so much 9mm. Y'all know I've loaded a shit ton of 9mm. And the first one, First one today. I seen the priming, the decapping rod go doop, and it was like, holy shit, you know? And then I looked at it and I'm like, I'll be damned. Never until now.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those in the 8mm Mauser, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to be careful. And really, to look at the case, you can't tell, man. You can't tell looking at the case. All you know is my decapping pin either came up or it broke.
Now, here's the thing. Have you ever tried to drill a hole in it and put a small primer in there and make it work? Because I have. And guess what? A Burdan small primer is a little bit bigger than a whatever the primer's called we use, and it won't stay in there.
There is a way that you can do it. If you fill that case up with water and smack it, you can knock that primer out.
Oh, I can take the primer out with a hardened decapping rod. Will smash right through the bottom of the case, and it'll shoot the primer out. What I'm saying is the primer is actually a tiny bit bigger, so you can't stick a regular small primer back up in there.
I know, but a Rack Vet 8888 did a video on how to convert them to large primers.
To maybe drill it out or something. Yeah,
drill it out a little bigger. So back to what Alan was talking about earlier about federal losing the federal military contract. I sent you an email, brother, and if you can do a screen share, I can tell you a little bit how it's going to affect. Federal is so overwhelmed with the commercial side of the business right now, they're probably not even going to miss the military thing, or at least that's what they're saying. What they're saying is they're expanding to meet the demand. And y'all been out to gun stores. I don't need to go to gun stores to buy ammunition, but I'm just saying. So I have no idea if there's anything out there in the stores or not. So a lot of people are, and going by what Alan said, he can't find primers. So I guess the stores are kind of bare with ammo.
I think also the this current situation with the COVID and people are like restocking or overbuying. I think that also kind of, put a lot of stress on the system, and still trying to catch up. Hey there, doggy.
Oh, so federal is claiming they're expanding to meet the demand. So with that being said, they sent out some letters to some of their high volume customers, and Alan's going to show it to us here in a minute.
Yeah, if I can get my ducks in a row.
That'll be tricky.
Yeah. I think you're going to have to back out of that and choose which tab you're going to share before you'll click the Gmail tab.
Oh, so I'll have to redo it. All right.
Well, just tell us the gist of the email. We believe you. You don't have to show up.
The email is everything's going up 10%, effective August 1st.
I mean, these riots are not helping keep ammo on the shelves. Let's face it. The federal is working at max capacity, and they got business for the next 2 years just catching up. I mean, I think we all know that,
I agree. And from a guy who shot a pretty good bit of Winchester, especially the white box stuff, I've not shot any of that brown cardboard stuff, like they claim is military grade. So
no, it's all shit. It's all dirty as hell.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. If we're gonna get the white box type of quality of primers, it's like I'm kind of scared.
No, the military, it'll have to pass. They'll have their own assembly lines for the military stuff. I mean, and then they'll have, what they'll end up making is a new brand that'll be the military surplus stuff that they'll put out there. But I mean, they have there's certain standards in military, believe it.
I mean, they're essentially saying that, you know, due to current market demand, they're investing in other key areas. Well, no, that's you lost. If you lost the federal contract, you're not investing in the key areas here. Uh, Given our current challenges upcoming, you're going to start seeing an increase, price changes of going promotional centerfire pistol 5%, promotional centerfire small rifle 10%.
Yeah, nobody
No.
cares about 10%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're already announcing price increases at this point.
I mean, the way I look at it is everyone here pretty much reloads. So, you know, maybe Winchester primers will come back before federal primers will. You know, so Winchester primers are good. There's nothing wrong with them.
That's the majority of my concern is what's going to happen with components.
I mean, I'm sorry, federal versus Winchester. Yeah, but yeah.
Like I said, I can't find a single. It doesn't matter if it's CCI, federal, Remington, Winchester. I literally could not find a single primer in 9 different stores. A single small pistol primer. Now, you could probably tell me, Rob, a small rifle primer in worst case scenarios will work, right?
Yeah, all day long, not a problem.
Yep. I mean, they're dimensionally the same.
Yep.
But isn't a small rifle primer just a little bit harder of a primer, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably better than me, but and I've already proved it. I had like 30,000 toll Russian small rifle primers that I didn't want anymore, but I wasn't willing to sell them because, I mean, I was going to use them up, you know what I mean? And so I just started loading my practice ammo with pistol practice ammo with small rifle Russian primers, and they those ones right there, exactly. And they work fine. And honestly, when I checked velocities versus a small pistol primer, velocity didn't change at all, not one bit.
That's cool.
I have the tall ammo, some S&Bs, Winchester, and CCI. But I think my favorite primer of all of them is the Winchester. It seems like I have less trouble with the Winchester stuff.
And a lot of people actually, you know, say really good things about the Winchester primers. I haven't used them yet. I've kind of been mostly CCI and Remington, and I haven't had any issues with those either. But yeah, I just think it. Honestly, I just think, going back to what I said before, I just think it's the user. But
I think one thing I'm guilty of, and you guys probably are too, if you ever have a bad experience with any particular component or anything like that, powder, primer, whatever the case may be, you remember that. You remember that from now on, and you kind of, you know, when something does good for you and it works out real well, we tend to keep that to ourselves. We don't praise things enough for being good as much as we denigrate stuff for being bad. And I am a anti-Remington primer guy. I do not like anything ammunition-wise that says Remington on it. The only thing I will buy Remington is the green and white box UMC Remington ammunition.
And that's not that good.
But it's hot. It's really hot.
Not the 223. It's not. It's shit. It's like lucky to get 2,900 feet per second. I mean, it's.
Well, the 44 Magnum is hard to handle, bro. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, well, it's a different deal. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't run like 5.56 or 223 Remington green and white box, but I have run plenty of of 9mm, and back in the day it was 40 all the time, and never really had a problem with it.
Well, let's face it. If you're practicing, or you're plinking, or whatever you want to call it, or it's just range time, I mean, who really cares? Just if it's dirty, you clean your gun, so it doesn't matter if it's dirty, as long as it doesn't affect. If it does malfunction every now and then, that's a good thing. Let's figure out how to unmalfunction a gun, so that's not bad. The only reason you really, really, really want to be picky, is all your carry ammo, the shit you get your life with. And I mean, you run that through your gun, you make sure that it works and everything. I mean, I know guys that run that Winchester forged stuff. It's like steel case, American made ammo, and it's dirty as hell. It's slow. It's sloppy, and it doesn't matter. It's range fodder, as Papa's place would call it, range fodder.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and that to me, that's one of the things that I was questioning, because I hadn't actually heard that you could use small rifle primers instead of small pistol primers. I figured, yeah, they're pretty damn close in size, but I didn't know if it was one of the things that if there was a different charge in them or what the deal was. So, in all actuality, I got a lot more primers than I thought I did, if that's the case.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like USPS in the boxes. If it fits, it ships. I don't know if there's a whole lot of difference. I think there's basically two kind of primers, large and small. And the ones that are match grade, they just come off of the first shift run where the most experienced guys are working. What I heard. But yeah, Rick up there earlier, he said he had an issue with Remington. He won't buy Remington stuff anymore. And
I've never shot any Remington primers, and I don't own any at all. I have Winchester, and I have Federal match grade primers are my favorite primers. And the reason I like to load Federal primers, especially small pistol, on a 650 is you're not swaging. Run across a crimp primer. The Federal primer is small enough where you just shove it right up in there, and it just rolls on through. No big deal. CCI primers, not so much. They're a little harder, so you're not going to be able to shove it in there. Now, I do inspect my primers for match grade ammo, and if I see one that it looks like it had to be smushed in there, I pull that out for practice ammo. And all the ones that aren't crimped and just look beautiful are match grade.
Yeah.
I will say this: of all the misfires that I've had in my hand loads, which have not been more than 5 or 10 in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this, have all been CCIs. Every failure to fire I've had has been CCI.
Yep, they're the hardest ones out there, I think.
And most of the time, you just cock the hammer back and hit them again, and they go. But I'm basically a hunter, so I don't have time to go through that when I'm sitting in a tree stand and a nice buck comes walking out.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want. Yeah, the sound of gun is click.
Well, and Mario, you've mentioned to me before with the military brass not to use CCI primers.
To be honest with you, I think there was also a mistake on my part, and I think it was in regards to I was using military brass, right? And I wasn't either I wasn't taking the crimp off of it correctly or not enough, and maybe that was the reason why. Now, have you had that problem before? Because I know I sent you some military brass, so I ended up purchasing just a small little tool that I can put on my drill, which before I was using a hand tool. So I would probably say, I would probably tell you maybe use a Winchester or Remington for those, because I've actually loaded those on Federal and I've never had any issues. So I don't know if maybe it's just a hundredths of whatever, tenths or whatever it is, that's maybe just a little bit bigger. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know, but I noticed that when I load them on Federal, I never had any issues with them. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I like to take the crimp out regardless of whatever primer I'm using. I mean, you can shove primers in sometimes. It just depends. There's two different ways they crimp primer pockets. One has the circle that they kind of crimp it all the way around, and then the other one is where they stake it. You'll see the 4 points where the brass is rolled over the primer. So there's a couple different methods there. I think on a staked primer, when you smash the primer out of a primer pocket, it pushes some of that back, so it's easy to set a new primer. Rolled on that where it's actually rolled over with the circular crimping, it actually deforms the primer pocket, make it smaller, and it's harder to manage. So
and I also think that it also has something to do with my mistakes and learning how to reload, because there's times where, being a rookie or novice at this stuff, you learn a lot of things. Sometimes you just have to pay a little more attention and detail to that kind of stuff, So, but it could also be what you're saying too, I just think you just got to do that. Hello.
Yeah, I'm very speculatory on, with this coming down from Federal, if that's going to affect components. I mean, everything else is available to me, at least right now. Yeah. If I wanted to buy brass, that's not a problem. Every single store had it. If I wanted powders, there's a wide variety of powders that are available. Just the dang primers.
Yeah,
man, I've been preaching for years. The primer is the thing to hoard. I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but the primer, that's the one thing you really, really, really need, I mean, because there's 20 different powders you can use. You can always pick up brass. Bullets you can make out of wheel weights. The primer is the thing. It's the thing. You need to have tons of primer.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Hey, Mr. Allen, how about you run the side chat, my friend?
Oh, yeah. I still have yet to do that. Man, it's been Bald and Curious. Daniel God is my judge. American Reloader, Fuzz Fork 8, SKS Hugo. There's been Ghost Rider out there, Bearded CB 82, Blue Healer popped in. Is your 6 covered? Razor JB. There's Tex I Can was out there. Gunpowder Beauty, Papa's Place. Rich Wright was out there. I think I said is your 6 covered, but I could probably say it 8 or 10 more times before it goes live again. GGW Reloading. Yeah, it's been hopping out there. Stalker Steve. NEPA Gun Talk was out there. Gun Loving Grandpa was out there. Yeah, it's been hopping over in the side chat.
Yeah, and unfortunately I hate to leave good company, but it's like my bedtime, so I gotta go.
Well, I was actually just getting ready for calling outs, because I was just gonna run it for about halftime tonight.
I don't want you to shut it down on my behalf, so y'all keep going. I mean, I just want to,
Before we get off of here, and maybe before Rob has to take off, we had a question from SKS asking about what 22s we recommend. 22 long rifle. I would recommend two. I have a Marlin Model 60 from way back in the day, and that thing is just 50 yards, dime size holes all day.
I think he's asking about ammo.
Yeah, looking to buy 22 online.
I would tell you, if you're gonna buy 22 and try to avoid the Browning. I've had so many issues with that Browning. I forgot the name of it. It had to.
Yeah, Browning ammo is not made by Browning. I think it's made by Winchester or something like that. But it's just branded. I my two of choice is CI all day long. You know.
Yeah, CCI mini mags if you're looking for ammo. But if you're looking for a rifle, either a Marlin Model 60 or that bolt action CZ, and both of them. Yeah, for 22 CCI is definitely hard to beat.
You know, I really like that Henry, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That little Henry with the lever action, I was like, man, that thing's looks like it's fun.
Yeah, it's hard to beat Henry.
But you know, the great thing about all this when it comes to 22, there is quite a bit of variety. And if you're kind of not sure as to what you want to buy, I would tell you to go check out 22 Plinkster's channel. He's got really, really good content, and that's all he talks about is 22. So, and he does a lot of great reviews on all 22 weapons. So, good to go.
I mean, the 22 LR is so versatile. Really, you can do so many different things with it. So it would be almost, what are you trying to accomplish with it?
Well, you know, when I work, I got a chance to train with the Israelis, and the Israelis use the 22 LR. They use a 1022 with a bull barrel on it, and they use that for freaking crowd control, man. Those guys don't mess around, dude. Freaking Israelis do not mess around, dude. They'll shoot somebody with a 22. They don't care, man. I was like, they were doing some things that I was training with these guys, and I was like, wow, man, you gotta do some crazy stuff, like TJ Hooker kind of crap, man. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, good to see Dirt Road out there. I haven't seen Dirt Road in a minute.
Yeah, he's all stocked up on 22. He's good to go. But I do need to roll, y'all.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all be good. And if you can't be good, be good.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
In a while.
All right, man. Yeah, y'all take care.
Pops. See you, buddy.
Good night.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and shut her down. Did about a halftime show because I'm just domestic. I'm not the foreign side, so I'm only doing half the show.
Please put some cream on your face or something, bro.
I need to go get some aloe, I guess.
Yeah, you need some Neosporin or something there, bro, because you don't see. That's what happens. Y'all trying to look like me, man. Don't do it, man. I was born with this tan. You know what I'm saying? I was born with it, homie. It's all good. But don't be like the president. That boy looks like a freaking carrot. It's freaking hilarious. You can tell when he just came from the tanning booth because you can see he's got. I'm like, oh, I gotta love that. I'm like, dude, it's okay. Be white. It's all good. Be happy. It's all right. You know.
Hey, if I said that, my wife would say, "You're going to hell for that."
I don't care. I am already going to hell. It's all good.
No, you're not. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to hell, and my job is to make sure you don't go there either.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I'm glad I got you on my side, JH. You're awesome, man. I really appreciate everything you've done for me, man.
That goes for Alan too, and all the rest of y'all. So let's wrap this up.
You got a very big job there. You got anything coming up here, JH?
I do, man. We're always live Friday nights at 8 o'clock on the Georgia Shooting Connection channel. Mario's been on last couple of weeks, and we'll have him on again sometime. Alan, we got to get you over there one of these Friday nights. I'll see if I can send you a link this week. But
well, that's the hardest part. Friday nights are typically date night.
I hear you. Getting your groove thing on Friday nights, right? But yeah, we'd love to have y'all come join us on Friday nights. Maybe I can get Ball to come over, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, but you got to get subtitles for that fool.
He can speak better English than I can, man.
Oh, I just like getting him a hard time.
But yeah, I have a new video out. Actually, we did a 350 Legend, 358 Eagle reloading workshop yesterday that's up on my channel. And I have a video about reloading on the Redding T7 turret for that particular round that's on Reloaders Network. So y'all can go check that out. So if you will.
Check it out, man. Got to see you in action in that thing.
Yeah, it's a little slow. It's a little long, a lot longer than I wanted it to. But some things when you're doing reloading, it takes a little while. But as always, Mr. Allen, it's an honor to be with y'all. Mario, thanks for putting up with me, brother, and thanks for the link, and thanks for having me.
My pleasure, brother. Thank you for being here.
Mr. Battlebean yourself, you got anything coming up?
Coming up, no, nothing major. I'm gonna reload a little bit more of 380 because I just started that, and I started doing it on a single stage press, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty fun. I had a good time with it. I loaded about 100 rounds. I just want to load down to the point where it's good, you know, and I'm not super overcharging that thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting back on the range and just feeling a little bit alive again and be able to, you know, let go of some of this tension we got going on, just being stuck in the house. And yeah, pretty much just still going through my processing, and before you know it, I'll be, you know, a civilian. So yeah, that's all I got going on. Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'd like to see a detailed video come from you on the plate carrier. You're probably one of the men that spent the majority, the most amount of time, I should say, in one. For those, because I know there's a lot of people that are looking into that right now. It would be a hot commodity.
Yeah. But I really feel that, you know, when you buy a plate carrier, you definitely spend your money wisely, man. You know, like those kind of things is not really a good thing to buy them like right now, because they're gonna gouge you. They really are. I will tell you, the best time to buy is when all this stuff just, you know, calms down and we get back to a little bit of normalcy. That's when you want to start purchasing these kind of things, you know. When you start buying stuff right now in the current situation we're in, you're going to pay a pretty penny. And it's something that you have to be very selective as to how much you're willing to spend. What I would always tell you guys too is, believe it or not, there are a lot of military grade vests like the one I have that you can purchase online. The problem, you're actually purchasing them from military distributors, so these are legit, you know, and you can buy them directly from them. But, you know, because it's actually military grade and all that kind of stuff, you are going to pay a pretty penny. I personally would always tell you guys is to make yourself a custom vest for you. And if you really, really want to get a vest, I would tell you go with a tactical tailor. It's probably your best bet. You're going to spend a lot of money, but that vest will last you forever. And I can vouch for it because I had friends of mine that are seasoned operators, and many of them been through 10, 12, deployments and different, conflicts that they've been through. I can't really get into details of what they do, but I can tell you that a lot of these guys are legit, and every one of their vests are tactical tailor. There are some other brands out there, but I have a tendency of going with the tactical tailor because it's customizable to your body size, and it's made just for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys are going to get really deep into your sizing. Like if you're being sized for like a suit, that's how in deep they get on it. They want to make sure that whatever you purchase, it's going to be comfortable for you, and that it's a one-time purchase, and you're not, because it's a one-time purchase, and most of these things you can't return them. So you got to make sure that whatever you buy is going to be worth your time and money, because they're customizable, and yeah, they do last a long time, man. Yeah, Thread. I might do a video on it, just so everybody kind of gets an idea of it, But sometimes I got to be a little careful because I know I got a lot of flack on some videos that I've done in the past. And actually, one of them actually got I think it got flagged, and it was just something simple. Like I was talking about, how you have a flag on, why do so many operators have a flag on their hat or stuff like that, and I even got a flag because of it. And I was like, that's something simple, So I don't know. I kind of have to be a little careful with that because I definitely don't want it to get out of context, And the way YouTube has a tendency of doing things, they don't just, flag your one video. They want to take down your channel. So I kind of have to be careful with that.
Yeah, they'll flag you for almost anything here on YouTube. You just don't know these days what they'll flag you for.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you, everybody. Keep your magazines full of 10 millimeter and one in the chamber. Have a great night. Thank you, everybody. Ready?